1. What is not started today is never finished tomorrow. 2. Everything is hard before it is easy. 3. Whatever you can do, or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. 4. As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. 5. Magic is believing in yourself. If you can do that, you can make anything happen. 6. You can easily judge the character of a man by how he treats those who can do nothing for him. 7. Nothing is worth more than this day. You cannot relive yesterday. Tomorrow is still beyond your reach. 8. At the moment of commitment, the entire universe conspires to assist you. 9. Things which matter most must never be at the mercy of things which matter least. 10. Music is liquid architecture. Architecture is frozen music. 11. Treat people as if they were what they ought to be, and you help them to become what they are capable of being. 12. Man is made by his belief. As he believes, so he is. 13. None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. 14. A man should hear a little music, read a little poetry, and see a fine picture every day of his life, in order that worldly cares may not obliterate the sense of the beautiful which God has implanted in the human soul. 15. A man sees in the world what he carries in his heart. 16. To think is easy, to act is hard, but the hardest thing in the world is to act in accordance with your thinking. 17. Life is too short to drink bad wine. 18. Dream no small dreams, for they have no power to move the hearts of men. 19. Willing is not enough, we must do. 20. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. Whatever you think you can do, or believe you can do, begin it. Action has magic, power, and grace. 21. Courage is the commitment to begin without any guarantee of success. 22. Correction does much, but encouragement does more. 23. The greatest thing in this world is not so much where we stand as in what direction we are moving. 24. Doubt can only be removed by action. 24. Doubt can only be removed by action. 24. Doubt can only be removed by action. 27. Why look for conspiracy when stupidity can explain so much? 28. Do not hurry, do not rest. 29. If I accept you as you are, I will make you worse. However, if I treat you as though you are what you are capable of becoming, I help you become that. 30. Every second is of infinite value. 31. Just trust yourself and you'll learn the art of living. 32. The best slave is the one who thinks he is free. 33. If you want to make life easy, make it hard. 33. If you want to make life easy, make it hard. 35. Ohne Hast, aber ohne Rast. Without haste, but without rest. 36. The soul that sees beauty may sometimes walk alone. 37. Enjoy what you can, endure what you must. 38. Do not give in too much to feelings. A overly sensitive heart is an unhappy possession on this shaky earth. 39. This is the highest wisdom that I own. Freedom and life are earned by those alone who conquer them each day anew. 39. This is the highest wisdom that I own. Freedom and life are earned by those alone who conquer them each day anew. 40. The dangers of life are infinite, and among them is safety. 41. Nothing is so strong as gentleness, nothing so gentle as real strength. 42. The way you see people is the way you treat them, and the way you treat them is what they become. 43. Love is an ideal thing, marriage a real thing. 44. Every day we should hear at least one little song, read one good poem, see one exquisite picture, and if possible, speak a few sensible words. 45. One always has time enough if one will apply it well. 46. Precaution is better than cure. 47. Money lost, something lost. Honor lost, much lost. Courage lost, everything lost, better you were never born. 48. A great person attracts great people and knows how to hold them together. 49. When we treat man as he is, we make him worse than he is. When we treat him as if he already were what he potentially could be, we make him what he should be. 50. Wisdom is found only in truth. 51. None are so hopelessly enslaved as those who falsely believe they are free. The truth has been kept from the depth of their minds by masters who rule them with lies. They feed them on falsehoods till wrong looks like right in their eyes. 52. In nature we never see anything isolated, but everything in connection with something else which is before it, beside it, under it, and over it. 53. Many people take no care of their money till they come nearly to the end of it, and others do just the same with their time. 54. Ingratitude is always a kind of weakness. I have never known men of ability to be ungrateful. 55. The hardest thing to see is what is in front of your eyes. 56. It is not doing the thing we like to do, but liking the thing we have to do that makes life blessed. 57. We are never deceived. We deceive ourselves. 58. To think is easy. To act is difficult. To act as one thinks is the most difficult. 59. To have seen Italy without having seen Sicily is to not have seen Italy at all, for Sicily is the clue to everything. 60. To quit smoking, you must first want to quit, but then you must also do the quitting. 61. I have come to the frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element. It is my personal approach that creates the climate. 62. There is strong shadow where there is much light. 63. There are only two lasting bequests we can hope to give our children. One of these is roots, the other, wings. 64. Leap and the net will appear. 65. Choose well. Your choice is brief and yet endless. 66. He is happiest, be he king or peasant, who finds peace in his home. 67. He who cannot draw on 3,000 years is living from hand to mouth. 68. Few people have the imagination for reality. 69. One cannot always be a hero, but one can always be a man. 70. Thinking is more interesting than knowing, but less interesting than looking. 71. Divide and rule, the politician cries. Unite and lead is watchword of the wise. 72. The man who masters himself is delivered from the force that binds all creatures. 73. Difficulties increase the nearer we get to the goal. 74. There is nothing insignificant in the world. It all depends on the point of view. 75. Treat a person as they are. They will remain so. Treat a person the way that person can be and is capable of being, and that person will become as he or she can be and should be. 76. Every reader, if he has a strong mind, reads himself into the book and amalgamates his 77. Treat people the way they are and they will stay that way. Treat people the way they can become and they will become that way. Thoughts with those of the author. 78. What is my life if I am no longer useful to others? 79. Never let a day pass without looking at some perfect work of art, hearing some great piece of music and reading, in part, some great book. 80. Live dangerously and you live right. 81. If I love you, what business is it of yours? 82. We see only what we know. 83. We are shaped and fashioned by what we love. 105. Tell me with whom you associate and I will tell you who you are. 106. Es irrt der Mensch so lang strebt. Man errs as long as he strives. 107. To live within limits, to want one thing, or a few things very much and love them dearly, cling to them, survey them from every angle, become one with them. That is what makes the poet, the artist, the human being. 108. God made man simple, but how he changed and got complicated is hard to say. 109. No one would talk much in society if they knew how often they misunderstood others. 110. By seeking and blundering we learn. 111. Everything is simpler than you think, and at the same time more complex than you imagine. 112. It is easier to perceive error than to find truth, for the former lies on the surface and is easily seen, while the latter lies in the depth, where few are willing to search for it. 113. You don't have to travel around the world to understand that the sky is blue everywhere. 114. We do not have to visit a madhouse to find disordered minds. Our planet is the mental institution of the universe. 115. Know thyself? If I knew myself, I would run away. 116. He who does not know foreign languages does not know anything about his own. 117. All that is transitory is but a metaphor. 118. If we take people only as they are, then we make them worse. If we treat them as if they were what they should be, then we bring them to where they can be brought. 119. All 120. Beauty is everywhere a welcome guest. Beginnings are delightful. The threshold is the place to pause. 121. Try novelties for salesman's bait, for novelty wins everyone. 122. There is nothing worse than aggressive stupidity. 123. I believe in God and in nature, and in the triumph of good over evil. 124. Stood I, O nature, man alone in thee, then were it worth one's while a man to be. 125. A useless life is an early death. 126. Boldness has power, magic, and genius in it. 127. Nature is the living, visible garment of God. 128. Faust, who holds the devil, let him hold him well. He hardly will be caught a second time. 129. We always hope, and in all things it is better to hope than to despair. 130. Those who have no hope for a future life are already dead for the present one. 131. Divide and rule, a sound motto. Unite and lead, a better one. 133. Nothing is worse than active ignorance. 134. Doubt grows with knowledge. 135. A man's manners are a mirror in which he shows his portrait. 136. To know someone here or there with whom you can feel there is understanding in spite of distances or thoughts expressed that can make life a garden. 137. A joy shared is a joy doubled. 138. In the end, we retain from our studies only that which we practically apply. 139. The coward only threatens when he is safe. 140. Hell begins the day that God grants you the vision to see all that you could have done, should have done, and would have done, but did not do. 141. The man with insight enough to admit his limitations comes nearest to perfection. 142. When one is polite in German, one lies. 143. To rule is easy, to govern difficult. 144. Please send me your last pair of shoes, worn out with dancing as you mentioned in your letter, so that I might have something to press against my heart. 145. On top of the world or in the depths of despair. 146. It is the nature of grace always to fill spaces that have been empty. 147. Method will teach you to win time. 148. Ignorant men raise questions that wise men answered 1,000 years ago. 149. There is nothing so terrible as activity without insight. 150. I love those who yearn for the impossible. 151. Where the light is brightest, the shadows are deepest. 152. Art is a mediator of the unspeakable. 153. Over all the mountaintops is peace. In all treetops you perceive scarcely a breath. The little birds in the forest are silent. Wait then. Soon, you too will have peace. 154. People should talk less and draw more. Personally, I would like to renounce speech altogether and, like organic nature, communicate everything I have to say visually. 155. It is in self-limitation that a master first shows himself. 156. Progress has not followed a straight ascending line, but a spiral with rhythms of progress and retrogression, of evolution and dissolution. 157. All theory, dear friend, is gray, but the golden tree of life springs evergreen. 158. Individuality of expression is the beginning and end of all art. 159. Only law can give us freedom. 160. Talent develops in quiet alone. Character is sharpened in the torrent of the world. 161. Science and art belong to the whole world, and before them vanish the barriers of nationality. 162. All is born of water, all is sustained by water. 163. It is not enough to have knowledge, one must apply it. It is not enough to have wishes, one must also accomplish it. 164. Life belongs to the living, and he who lives must be prepared for changes. 165. The world only goes forward because of those who oppose it. 166. Daring ideas are like chessmen moved forward. They may be beaten, but they may start a winning game. 167. A great deal may be done by severity, more by love, but most by clear discernment and impartial justice. 168-8. That which thy fathers have bequeathed to thee, earn it anew if thou wouldst possess it. 169. In the end we are all separate. Our stories, no matter how similar, come to a fork and diverge. We are drawn to each other because of our similarities, but it is our differences we must learn to respect. 170. Nature is, after all, the only book that offers important content on every page. 171. Man knows himself only insofar as he knows the world, becoming aware of it if only within himself, and of himself only within it. Each new subject, well observed, opens up within us a new organ of thought. 172. You must either conquer and rule or serve and lose, suffer or triumph, be the anvil or the hammer. 173. The eternal feminine draws us up. 174. Once you have missed the first buttonhole, you'll never manage to button up. 175. Alas, I have studied philosophy, the law as well as medicine, and to my sorrow, theology, studied them well with ardent zeal, yet here I am, a wretched fool, no wiser than I was before. 176. Distrust those in whom the desire to punish is strong. 177. The best government is that which teaches us to govern ourselves. 178. Someday perhaps the inner light will shine forth from us, and the will need no other light. 179. Rest not, life is sweeping by, go and dare before you die. Something mighty and sublime, leave behind to conquer time. 180. Destiny grants us our wishes, but in its own way, in order to give us something beyond our wishes. 181. All the knowledge I possess everyone else can acquire, but my heart is all my own. 182. A really great talent finds its happiness in execution. 183. Mere curiosity adds wings to every step. 184. The person born with a talent they are meant to use will find their greatest happiness in using it. 185. It is said that no one is a hero to their butler. The reason is that it requires a hero to recognize a hero. The butler, however, will probably know well how to estimate his equals. 186. Sometimes our fate resembles a fruit tree in winter. Who would think that those branches would turn green again and blossom, but we hope it, we know it. 187. The history of mankind is his character. 188. To the world you might be one person, but to one person you might be the world. Kindness is the golden chain by which our world is bound together. 189. When you lose interest in anything, you also lose the memory for it. 190. To accept good advice is but to increase one's own ability. 191. Our wishes are presentiments of the abilities that lie in us, harbingers of what we will be able to accomplish. 192. Everywhere, we learn only from those whom we love. 193. When a wife has a good husband, it is easily seen on her face. 194. A person hears only what they understand. 195. Blood is a very special juice. 196. Look closely at those who patronize you. Half are unfeeling, half untaught. 197. He only earns his freedom and his life who takes them every day by storm. 198. Great thoughts and a pure heart. That is what we should ask from God. 199. It is said that no man is a hero to his valet. That is because a hero can be recognized only by a hero. 200. National literature does not mean much these days. Now is the age of world literature, and everyone must contribute to hasten the arrival of that age. 201. Beauty is a manifestation of secret natural laws, which otherwise would have been hidden from us forever. 202. Art is long, life short, judgment difficult, opportunity transient. To act is easy, to think is hard, to act according to our thought is troublesome. Every beginning is cheerful, the threshold is the place of expectation. 203. Perseverance is a silent power that grows irresistibly greater with time. 204. Only the soul that loves is happy. 205. A wife is a gift bestowed upon a man to reconcile him to the loss of paradise. 206. The important thing in life is to have a great aim and to possess the aptitude and perseverance to attain it. 207. Love does not dominate, it cultivates. 208. Love of truth shows itself in this, that a man knows how to find and value the good in everything. 185. It is said that no one is a hero to their butler. The reason is that it requires a hero to recognize a hero. The butler, however, will probably know well how to estimate his equals. 186. Sometimes our fate resembles a fruit tree in winter. Who would think that those branches would turn green again and blossom, but we hope it, we know it. 187. The history of mankind is his character. 188. To the world you might be one person, but to one person you might be the world. Kindness is the golden chain by which our world is bound together. 189. When you lose interest in anything, you also lose the memory for it. 190. To accept good advice is but to increase one's own ability. 191. Our wishes are presentiments of the abilities that lie in us, harbingers of what we will be able to accomplish. 192. Everywhere, we learn only from those whom we love. 193. When a wife has a good husband, it is easily seen on her face. 194. A person hears only what they understand. 195. Blood is a very special juice. 196. Look closely at those who patronize you. Half are unfeeling, half untaught. 197. He only earns his freedom and his life who takes them every day by storm. 198. Great thoughts and a pure heart. That is what we should ask from God. 199. It is said that no man is a hero to his valet. That is because a hero can be recognized only by a hero. 200. National literature does not mean much these days. Now is the age of world literature, and everyone must contribute to hasten the arrival of that age. 201. Beauty is a manifestation of secret natural laws, which otherwise would have been hidden from us forever. 202. Art is long, life short, judgment difficult, opportunity transient. To act is easy, to think is hard, to act according to our thought is troublesome. Every beginning is cheerful, the threshold is the place of expectation. 203. Perseverance is a silent power that grows irresistibly greater with time. 204. Only the soul that loves is happy. 205. A wife is a gift bestowed upon a man to reconcile him to the loss of paradise. 206. The important thing in life is to have a great aim and to possess the aptitude and perseverance to attain it. 207. Love does not dominate, it cultivates. 208. Love of truth shows itself in this, that a man knows how to find and value the good in everything. 233. Talents are nurtured best in solitude, but character on life's tempestuous seas. 234. Properly speaking, such work is never finished. One must declare it so, when, according to time and circumstances, one has done one's best. 235. What is the path? There is no path. On into the unknown. 236. By nature we have no defect that could not become a strength, no strength that could not become a defect. 237. Be always resolute with the present hour. Every moment is of infinite value. 238. What I possess seems far away to me, and what is gone becomes reality. 239. Let's plunge ourselves into the roar of time, the whirl of accident, May pain and pleasure, success and failure, shift as they will. It's only action that can make a man. 240. The history of science is science itself. The history of the individual, the individual. 241. Don't dissipate your powers, strive to concentrate them. Genius thinks it can do whatever it sees others doing, but it will surely repent of every ill-judged outlay. 242. Being brilliant is no great feat if you respect nothing. 243. Fresh activity is the only means of overcoming adversity. 244. The day is of infinite length for him who knows how to appreciate and use it. 245. Fools and wise men are equally harmless. It is the half-fools and half-wise that are dangerous. 246. We will burn that bridge when we come to it. 247. And we went our separate ways without having understood each other. As in this world, nobody understands the other easily. 248. The soul is indestructible, and its activity will continue through eternity. It is like the sun which, to our eyes, seems to set at night, but it has in reality only gone to diffuse its light elsewhere. 249. Deny yourself. You must deny yourself. That is the song that never ends. 250. Hatred is something peculiar. You will always find it strongest and most violent where there is the lowest degree of culture. 251. What we agree with leaves us inactive, but contradiction makes us productive. 252. For a man to achieve all that is demanded of him, he must regard himself as greater than he is. 253. Those that are firm in their will mold the world to themselves. 254. The most happy man is he who knows how to bring into relation the end and beginning of his life. 255. Always to distrust is an error as well as always to trust. 256. Aptitudes are assumed. They should become accomplishments. That is the purpose of all education. 247. Love, whose power youth feels, is not suitable for the elderly, just as little as anything that presupposes productivity. It is rare that productivity lasts through the years. 258. Be generous with kindly words, especially about those who are absent. 259. A creation of importance can only be produced when its author isolates himself. It is a child of solitude. 260. If you inquire what people are like here, I must answer, the same as everywhere. 261. Theories are usually the over-hasty efforts of an impatient understanding that would gladly be rid of phenomena, and so puts in their place pictures, notions, nay, often mere words. 262. If you've never eaten while crying, you don't know what life tastes like. 263. For many people, one of the most frustrating aspects of life is not being able to understand other people's behavior. 264. True love is love that stays constant forever, whatever its fortune, whether requited or scored, filled or sent empty away. 65. Too many parents make life hard for their children by trying, too zealously, to make it easy for them. 266. Of all peoples, the Greeks have dreamt the dream of life best. 267. Out of moderation a pure happiness springs. 268. One lives but once in the world. 269. I am certain that I have been here as I am now 1,000 times before, and I hope to return 1,000 times. 270. Misunderstandings and neglect create more confusion in this world than trickery and malice. At any rate, the last two are certainly much less frequent. 271. Man errs till he has ceased to strive. 272. Death is nature's expert advice to get plenty of life. 273. Whoever wishes to keep a secret must hide the fact that he possesses one. 274. Man must strive, and striving, he must err. 277. Cease endlessly striving for what you would like to do, and learn to love what must be done. 278. God help us, for art is long and life so short. 279. If you are to accomplish all that one demands of you, you must overestimate your own worth. 280. The sum which two married people owe to one another defies calculation. It is an infinite debt, which can only be discharged through all eternity. 281. If nature is your teacher, your soul will awaken. 282. What is uttered from the heart alone will win the hearts of others to your own. 283. Kindness is the golden thread that holds society together. 284. Gray is the color of all theory. 285. Nature is beneficent. I praise. 285. Nature is beneficent. I praise her and all her works. She is silent and wise. She is cunning, but for good ends. She has brought me here and will also lead me away. She may scold me, but she will not hate her work. I trust her. 286. Sometimes I don't understand how another can love her, is allowed to love her, since I love her so completely myself, so intensely, so fully. Grasp nothing, know nothing, have nothing but her. 287. Self-knowledge is best learned not by contemplation but by action. 288. All things are only transitory. 289. Life is the childhood of our immortality. 290. To live as one likes is plebeian, the noble man aspires to order and law. 291. We can really respect a man only if he doesn't always look out for himself. 292. The senses do not deceive us, but the judgment does. 293. Common sense is the genius of humanity. 294. The clever reader who is capable of reading between these lines what does not stand written in them, but is nevertheless implied, will be able to form some conception. 295. Yet here I stand, poor fool, what more? Not one whit wiser than before. 296. A world without love would be no world. 297. On all the peaks lies peace. 298. Nature knows no pause in progress and development, and attaches her curse on all inaction. 299. He who possesses art and science has religion. He who does not possess them needs religion. 300. No man learns to know his inmost nature by introspection, for he rates himself sometimes too low and often too high by his own measurement. Man knows himself only by comparing himself with other men. It is life that touches his genuine worth. 301. The intelligent man finds almost everything ridiculous. The sensible man, hardly anything. 302. We all walk in mysteries. We are surrounded by an atmosphere about which we still know nothing at all. 303. If in the infinite you want to stride, just walk in the finite to every side. 304. Our passions are the true phoenixes. When the old one is burnt out, a new one rises from its ashes. 305. Higher yet and higher out of clouds and night, nearer yet and nearer rising to the light. Light serene and holy where my soul may rest, purified and lowly, sanctified and blessed. 306. Against criticism a man can neither protest nor defend himself. He must act in spite of it, and then it will gradually yield to him. 307. Tolerance comes of age. I see no fault committed that I myself could not have committed at some time or other. 308. The older I get, the more I trust in the law according to which the rose and the lily bloom. 309. The rich want good wine, the poor, plenty of wine. 310. When young, one is confident to be able to build palaces for mankind, but when the time comes, one has one's hands full just to be able to remove their trash. 311. The destiny of any nation at any given time depends on the opinion of its young people, those under 25. 312. For a brave man deserves a well-endowed girl. 313. Music is either sacred or secular. The sacred agrees with its dignity, and here has its greatest effect on life, an effect that remains the same through all ages and epochs. Secular music should be cheerful throughout. 314. The heights charm us, but the steps do not. With the mountain in our view, we love to walk the plains. 315. I have found a paper of mine among some others in which I call architecture petrified music. Really, there is something in this. The tone of mind produced by architecture approaches the effect of music. 316. A phenomenon like Mozart remains an inexplicable thing. 317. Translators can be considered as busy matchmakers who praise as extremely desirable a half-veiled beauty. They arouse an irresistible yearning for the original. 318. How can we learn self-knowledge? Never by taking thought, but rather by action. Try to do your duty, and you'll soon discover what you're like. 319. What must the English and French think of the language of our philosophers when we Germans do not understand it ourselves? In 1820. I always seek the good that is in people and leave the bad to him who made mankind and knows how to round off the corners. 321. Character develops itself in the stream of life. 322. All truly wise thoughts have been thought already thousands of times, but to make them truly ours, we must think them over again honestly, until they take root in our personal experience. 323. I am fully convinced that the soul is indestructible, and its activity will continue through eternity. 324. The human mind will not be confined to any limits. 325. To create something, you must be something. 326. Hatred is a heavy burden. It sinks the heart deep in the breast and lies like a tombstone on all joys. 327. I treat my heart like a sick child and gratify its every fancy. 328. Life teaches us to be less harsh with ourselves and with others. 329. Deeply earnest and thoughtful people stand on shaky footing with the public. 330. What you desire when young, you have in abundance when old. 331. Nothing will change the fact that I cannot produce the least thing without absolute solitude. 332. It matters little whether a man be mathematically or philologically or artistically cultivated, so he be but cultivated. 333. We usually lose today because there has been a yesterday and tomorrow is coming. 334. What one doesn't understand, one doesn't possess. 335. He who is and remains true to himself and to others has the most attractive quality of the greatest talent. 336. There is no permanence in doubt. It incites the mind to closer inquiry and experiment, from which, if rightly managed, certainty proceeds, and in this alone can man find thorough satisfaction. 337. In art, the best is good enough. 338. As in Rome there is, apart from the Romans, a population of statues, so apart from this real world, there is a world of illusion, almost more potent, in which most men live. 339. One man's word is no man's word. We should quietly hear both sides. 340. For the butterfly, mating and propagation involve the sacrifice of life. For the human being, the sacrifice of beauty. 341. Reality surpasses imagination, and we see, breathing, brightening, and moving before our eyes sights dearer to our hearts than any we ever beheld in the land of sleep. 342. A man's shortcomings are taken from his epoch. His virtues and greatness belong to himself. 343. There is no crime of which I do not deem myself capable. 344. Let us live while we are alive. 345. The light is there, and colors surround us. However, if there were no light nor colors in our own eye, we wouldn't perceive such things outside of us. 346. Keep not standing fixed and rooted. Briskly venture, briskly roam. 347. What you have inherited from your forefathers, it takes work to make it your own. 348. To measure up to all that is demanded of him, a man must overestimate his capacities. 349. The nude is the perfect expression of freedom, freedom to be. 350. When nature begins to reveal her open secret to a man, he feels an irresistible longing for her worthiest interpreter, art. Chess is the touchstone. 351. When I say to the moment flying, linger a while, thou art so fair, then bind me in thy bonds undying, and my final ruin I will bear. 352. Shakespeare is a great psychologist, and whatever can be known of the heart of man may be found in his plays. 353. Names are but noise and smoke obscuring heavenly light. 354. Two souls dwell, alas, in my breast. 355. Desire is the presentiment of our inner abilities and the forerunner of our ultimate accomplishments. 356. In comradeship is danger countered best. 357. All understanding begins in wonder. 358. Give me the benefit of your convictions if you have any, but keep your doubts to yourself, for I have enough of my own. 359. Perfection is the measure of heaven, and the wish to be perfect, the measure of man. 360. Every step of life shows much caution is required. 361. It's true that nothing in this world makes us so necessary to others as the affection we have for them. 362. Let us seek to fathom those things that are fathomable, and reserve those things which are unfathomable for reverence in quietude. 363. The rainbow mirrors human aims and action. Think, and more clearly, wilt thou grasp it, seeing life is but light in many-hued reflection. 364. Not the maker of plans and promises, but rather the one who offers faithful service in small matters. This is the person who is most likely to achieve what is good and lasting. Knee of intellect. 365. Chess is the touchstone of intellect. 366. Wherever a man may happen to turn, whatever a man may undertake, he will always end up by returning to that path which nature has marked out for him. 367. One glance, one word from you gives more pleasure than all the wisdom of this world. 368. There is nothing worth thinking, but it has been thought before. We must only try to think it again. 369. Clever people are always the best conversation lexicon. 370. It has been said that figures rule the world. Maybe. But I'm sure that figures show us whether it is being ruled well or badly. 371. Sin writes histories, goodness is silent. 372. Belief is not the beginning of knowledge, it is the end. 373. Hope is the second soul of the unhappy. 374. If you wish to know the mind of a man, listen to his words. 375. Water its living strength first shows when obstacles its course oppose. 6. There is a courtesy of the heart, it is allied to love. From it springs the purest courtesy in the outward behavior. 377. Art is long, life is short, judgment difficult, opportunity transient. 378. Let no one be ashamed to say yes today if yesterday he said no, or to say no today if yesterday he said yes. For that is life. Never to have changed, what a pitiable thing, of which to boast. 379. When you praise someone you call yourself his equal. 380. Take care of your body with steadfast fidelity. The soul must see through these eyes alone, and if they are dim, the whole world is clouded. 381. War is in truth a disease in which the juices that serve health and maintenance are used for the sole purpose of nourishing something foreign, something at odds with nature. 382. One must ask children and birds how cherries and strawberries taste. 383. Patriotism ruins history. 384. Personality is everything in art and poetry. 385. I am not omniscient, but I know a lot. 386. Even dirt glitters when the sun is shining upon it. 387. If children grew up according to early indications, we should have nothing but geniuses. 388. Battle not with monsters, for then you become one. 389. What is predestination? Answer: God is more powerful and wiser than we are. Therefore he deals with us according to his pleasure. 390. Truth is a torch, but a tremendous one. That is why we hurry past it, shielding our eyes, indeed in fear of getting burned. 391. Man is not born to solve the problem of the universe, but to find out what he has to do, and to restrain himself within the limits of his comprehension. 392. Many hammer all over the wall and believe that with each blow they hit the nail on the head. 393. Once more I am a wanderer, a pilgrim, through the world. But what else are you? 394. What people call the spirit of the times is mostly their own spirit in which the times mirror themselves. 395. Wishes are premonitions of abilities. 396. Wood burns because it has the proper stuff in it, and a man becomes famous because he has the proper stuff in him. 397. There is no trifling with nature. It is always true, grave, and severe. It is always in the light, and the faults and errors fall to our share. It defies incompetency, but reveals its secrets to the competent, the truthful, and the pure. 398. The unnatural, that too is natural. 399. Give me those days with heart in riot, the depths of bliss that touched on pain, the force of hate, and 400. Make the most of time, it flies away so fast, yet method will teach you to win time. 401. Happiness is a ball after which we run wherever it rolls, and we push it with our feet when it stops. 402. The highest goal that man can achieve is amazement. 403. A good man, through obscurest aspirations, has still an instinct of the one true way. 404. The dignity of art probably appears most eminently with music, since it does not have any material that needs to be discounted. Music is all form and content and elevates and ennobles everything that it expresses. 405. Analysis and synthesis are both as necessary to the thinking spirit as inspiration and expiration to the organism. 406. The Bible grows more beautiful as we grow in our understanding of it. 407. My poor head is in such a whirl, my mind is all in bits. 408. To have a positive religion is not necessary. To be in harmony with yourself and the universe is what counts, and this is possible without positive and specific formulation in words. 409. There are situations in which hope and fear run together, in which they mutually destroy one another and lose themselves in dull indifference. 410. To know of someone here and there whom we accord with, who is living on with us, even in silence. This makes our earthly ball a peopled garden. 411. Mystery is truth's dancing partner. 412. If there is confusion in your head and in your heart, what more do you want? A man who no longer loves and no longer errs should have himself buried straight away. 413. The hero draws inspiration from the virtue of his ancestors. 414. If you must tell me your opinions, tell me what you believe in. I have plenty of doubts of my own. 415. These auspicious aspects, which the astrologers subsequently interpreted for me, may have been the causes of my preservation. 416. If the mass of people hesitate to act, strike with swiftly and with boldness. The brave heart that understands and seizes opportunity can everything. 417. Be valiant and powerful forces will come to your aid. 418. The greatest act of faith takes place when a man finally decides that he is not God. 419. The beginning and end of all literary activity is the reproduction of the world that surrounds me by means of the world that is in me, all things being grasped, related, recreated, molded, and reconstructed in a personal form and original manner. 420. Color itself is a degree of darkness. 21. A genuine work of art usually displeases at first sight, as it suggests a deficiency in the spectator. 422. Time flies, and what is past is done. 423. But who will dare to speak the truth out clear? The few who anything of truth have learned, and foolishly did not keep truth concealed. Their thoughts and visions to the common herd revealed. Since time began, we've crucified and burned. 424. It is working within limits that the craftsman reveals himself. 425. One criticizes the English for carrying their teapots wherever they go, even lugging them up Mount Etna. But doesn't every nation have its teapot, in which even when traveling, it brews the dried bundles of herbs brought from home? 426. Where I cannot be moral, my power is gone. 427. So long as you live and work, you will be misunderstood. To that you must resign yourself once and for all, be silent. 428. We can most safely achieve truly universal tolerance when we respect that which is characteristic in the individual and in nations, clinging, though, to the conviction that the truly meritorious is unique by belonging to all of mankind. 429. The field of experience is the whole universe in all directions. Theory remains shut up within the limits of human faculties. 430. Every man has enough power left to carry out that of which he is convinced. 431. The assault of our enemies is not part of our life. It is only part of our experience. We throw it off and guard ourselves against it as against frost, storm, rain, hail, or any other of the external evils which may be expected to happen. 432. Happy the man who early learns the wide chasm that lies between his wishes and his powers. 433. If you call a thing bad, you do little. If you call a thing good, you do much. 434. Truth is a torch, but a terrific one. Therefore we all try to reach it with closed eyes, lest we should be scorched. 435. Is it life, I ask? Is it even prudence, to bore thyself and bore the students? 436. The eye doesn't see any shapes, it sees only what is differentiated through light and dark or through colors. 437. The soul-stirring image of death is no bugbear to the sage, and is looked on without despair by the pious. It teaches the former to live, and it strengthens the hopes of the latter in salvation in the midst of distress. Death is new life to both. 438. Our virtues and views spring from one root. 439. What dazzles for the moment spends its spirit. What's genuine shall posterity inherit. 442. A distracted existence leads us to no goal. 443. Art is a severe business, most serious when employed in grand and sacred objects. The artist stands higher than art, higher than the object. He uses art for his purposes and deals with the object after his own fashion. 444. The close and thoughtful observer more and more learns to recognize his limitations. He realizes that with the steady growth of knowledge, more and more new problems keep on emerging. 445. Since time is not a person we can overtake when he is gone, let us honor him with mirth and cheerfulness of heart while he is passing. 446. I wish the stage were as narrow as the wire of a tightrope dancer, so that no incompetent would dare step upon it. 447. A talent can be cultivated in tranquility, a character only in the rushing stream of life. 448. Paternity is based anyhow only upon conviction. I am convinced, therefore, I am the father. 449. Life seems so vulgar, so easily content with the commonplace things of every day, and yet it always nurses and cherishes certain higher claims in secret, and looks about for the means of satisfying them. 450. Moral epochs have their course as well as the seasons. We can no more hold them fast than we can hold sun, moon, and stars. Our faults perpetually return upon us, and herein lies the subtlest difficulty of self-knowledge. 451. It would not be worth your while to reach the age of 70 if all the wisdom of the world were to be foolishness before God. 452. When translating, one must proceed up to the intranslatable. Only then one becomes aware of the foreign nation and the foreign tongue. 453. A man is really alive only when he delights in the goodwill of others. 454. God could cause us considerable embarrassment by revealing all the secrets of nature to us. We should not know what to do for sheer apathy and boredom. 455. In art, to express the infinite one should suggest infinitely more than is expressed. 456. To be sure, a good work of art can and will have moral consequences, but to demand of the artist's moral intentions means ruining their craft. 457. People can only live with their equals and not even with them, for in the long run they cannot tolerate that someone is their equal. 458. Tolerance should, strictly speaking, be only a passing mood. It ought to lead to acknowledgement and appreciation. To tolerate a person is to affront him. 459. Beauty and genius must be kept afar if one would avoid becoming their slave. 460. Words express neither objects nor ourselves. 461. A flippant, frivolous man may ridicule others, may controvert them, scorn them. But he who has any respect for himself seems to have renounced the right of thinking meanly of others. 462. One of the most striking signs of the decay of art is the intermixing of different genres. 463. We cannot and must not get rid of nor deny our characteristics, but we can give them shape and direction. 464. How circumscribed is woman's destiny? 465. To understand one thing well is better than understanding many things by halves. 466. Neither a work of nature nor one of art we get to know when they have been finished. We must surprise them in the process of being created so as to understand them to some degree. 467. The decline of literature indicates the decline of a nation. 468. The artist alone sees spirits, but after he is told of their appearing to him, everybody sees them. 469. Knowst thou the land where the lemon trees bloom, where the gold orange glows in the deep thicket's gloom, where a wind ever soft from the blue heaven blows, and the groves are of laurel and myrtle and rose? 470. For the nature of women is closely allied to art. 471. Stones are mute teachers, they silence the observer, and the most valuable lesson we learn from them we cannot communicate. 472. We are the slaves of objects around us and appear little or important according as these contract or give us room to expand. 473. If you wish a wise answer, you must put a rational question. 474. Were not the eye made to receive the rays of the sun, it could not behold the sun. If the peculiar power of God lay not in us, how could the godlike charm us? 475. No one has ever properly understood me. I have never fully understood anyone, and no one understands anyone else. 476. I have so much in me, and the feeling for her absorbs it all. I have so much, and without her it all comes to nothing. 477. The beginning of faith is the beginning of fruitfulness, but the beginning of unbelief, however glittering, is empty. 478. Let no one be like another, yet everyone like the highest. How is this done? Be each one perfect in himself. 479. A life without love, without the presence of the beloved, is nothing but a mere magic lantern show. We draw out slide after slide, swiftly tearing of each, and pushing it back to make haste for the next. 408. Wine rejoices the heart of man, and joy is the mother of all virtues. 481. The deed is everything, the glory is naught. 482. There is nothing outside of us that is not at the same time in us, and as the external world has its colors, the eye, too, has colors. 483. Painting and tattooing the body is a return to animalism. 484. Nothing can be compared to the new life that the discovery of another country provides for a thoughtful person. Although I am still the same, I believe to have changed to the bones. 485. A great revolution is never the fault of the people, but of the government. 486. Flowers are the beautiful hieroglyphics of nature with which she indicates how much she loves us. 487. It is sometimes essential for a husband and a wife to quarrel. They get to know each other better. 488. When she sees the leaves fall, they raise no other idea in her mind than that winter is approaching. 489. Impotent hatred is the most horrible of all emotions. One should hate nobody whom one cannot destroy. 490. He who is plenteously provided for from within needs but little from without. 491. Everything is both simpler than we can imagine and more entangled than we can conceive. 492. Letters are among the most significant memorial a person can leave behind them. 493. All perishable is but an allegory. 494. Humans fear reason, but they ought to fear stupidity, for reason can be hard, but stupidity can be fatal. 495. Every situation, nay, every moment, is of infinite worth, for it is the representative of a whole eternity. 496. Everything that we encounter leaves traces behind. Everything contributes imperceptibly to our education. 497. Nature has neither core nor skin. She's both at once outside and in. 498. America, you have it better than our continent, the old one. 4999. Can a sparrow know how a stork feels?